because, I mean, we create from so many different states, don't we? I mean, you know, I know this from many years of working in the theatre, is that you have to have an objective third eye, but ultimately, if it's working, something is flowing through you and to an audience. And so you're saying the act of creation is selfish, but I mean, I know I have a profound and acute sense of audience. And so that, you know, that you have to sort of step out of the way of the thing, you know, in order to reach an audience. And sometimes you can get when you're making a piece of cinema, you can get very dislocated from your audience. And so therefore it can feel like it's some sort of indulgent, selfish thing. But I'm constantly thinking, you know, about the world in which we're living. And the weird thing about making a film is that, you know, we've talked about this a lot, Todd, is that when you're playing something as intense as this experience was, and, you know, you said it was outside life, but I felt so alive making this. I don't know, more alive, I think, than I have felt for a very long time making anything. It alters your perspective on the world for the time that you're making it. So there feels like this profound privilege in a way that you step outside your kind of domestic groove and you start to look at the world through someone else's lens. So therefore, I feel like I'm more strangely in the world than if I was just in East Sussex feeding the pigs. Do you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean, and I very much fear that you're confirming a suspicion I had, which is that in addition to being amazing in like 18 different dimensions, you're also actually a really nice person, which is not
well, that's the act, John.
There we go. And Nina, as the person observing this from the outside, you play in the movie somebody who I think is kind of the emotional center. We have the grandness of the ambition of Lydia, and then we have people with whom, by Sharon's own account, she's in an instrumental relationship with the possible exception of her daughter Petra. But what is it like to be on the outside of a person like that? What is it like to play on the outside of a person who is that caught up in the grandeur of what she is? Because, I mean, just as an actress, say.
As an actress?
Yes.
Well, you know, yeah, when I listen to what you've just said, I do think the act of creation for sure has partly is selfish, but also you make yourself very vulnerable. And I think that's what Sharon sees. You put yourself out there. I think Lydia says you have to obliterate yourself at a certain moment. So that is, get rid of your ego, you know. So you do it to have an experience. And just on my way here, because I had a terrible flight ordeal today, it's on the plane, I just thought, I'm just going to listen to this Mahler symphony now. And I listened to it because we never get to really hear it. Yeah, we did hear it a lot, and Sophie as well, and Todd for sure. So, but I haven't listened to it for a long while, and it is so beautiful that you start crying, you feel happy, and she doesn't get to do it. And I think that's why she goes on stage at the end. That's why she, you know, and Sharon knows that. But she feels her slipping away. She has to deal with too many things. She has to lead this institution. But she doesn't get to do what she really wants to do, to create this sound, you know. And that, I find, is the hurt of Sharon, to having to watch that. And then at a certain point, because she is in her own right a very accomplished musician and has to save her family and her career, has to say enough. But yeah, so that it has to me, for me, it's also something to do with what a creative goes through. You know, everyone goes through. If you don't get to do what you want to do, that doesn't excuse everything. Lydia does, but it's just from Sharon's point of view.